Water is the foundation of all life. Every river, lake, ocean, and even the rain carries the essence of survival. But what if suddenly every drop of water on Earth was infused with nicotine? A stimulant once tied only to tobacco would become inseparable from life itself. The consequences would be immediate, shocking, and far-reaching. At first, the entire human population would experience withdrawal and dependence cycles, whether they chose it or not. Every sip from a tap, every glass of juice, every cup of tea or coffee would deliver nicotine into the body. Dehydration would become a brutal trap. Thirst would force constant intake, and constant intake would mean constant exposure. The world's population would, within weeks, become chemically dependent. Children born into this environment would never know what it means to live without nicotine. Their baseline biology would adjust to the constant stimulant, creating a global society where addiction is no longer a choice but a condition of existence. Doctors would face a dilemma. How do you treat patients when the very foundation of hydration carries a drug? Culturally, daily life would shift. People would exhibit heightened alertness, bursts of focus, but also agitation, anxiety, and elevated heart rates. Workplaces might become more productive at first, but stress levels would skyrocket. Conversations would be sharper, tempers shorter. In schools, children would fidget restlessly, unable to escape the chemical restlessness that water delivers. Health systems would collapse under the long-term effects. Heart disease, strokes, and cancers linked to nicotine exposure would surge across the globe. The average lifespan might shrink dramatically. What was once considered a lifestyle habit would become a biological inevitability. Economically, entire industries would shift. Traditional tobacco companies might vanish, their product obsolete since water itself delivers the drug. But new corporations could rise, selling expensive filtration technologies to remove nicotine from drinking water. Clean water, free of stimulants, would become the new luxury, more precious than gold. Nations might go to war over aquifers or secret wells rumored to be pure. Ecology would suffer as well. Fish, amphibians, and countless freshwater species would be poisoned. Ecosystems would spiral into collapse as animals dependent on clean water suffered neurological stress and reproductive failure. Predator-prey balances would crumble, leading to cascading extinctions. Oceans would turn into vast, stimulant-laced chemical soups, reshaping marine life forever. Philosophically, humanity would struggle with the question of choice. Free will would feel diminished, as no one could decide whether to participate in nicotine use. It would be as unavoidable as breathing. Addiction would no longer carry stigma, since everyone would share it. Instead, a new social divide might form between those who could afford pure water and those who could not. Religions might adapt to see nicotine as a curse, a divine punishment that ties every sip of life to suffering. Others might embrace it, calling it a sacred fuel that sharpens the mind. New rituals, prayers, and philosophies would emerge around water, the very act of drinking becoming symbolic of dependence, mortality, and control. In the long run, humanity might evolve. Generations exposed to nicotine from birth could develop resistance, metabolizing it differently. Perhaps new genetic adaptations would arise, blunting the stimulant's effect or even transforming it into a neutral compound. In this way, evolution might rescue the species from its chemical prison, but only after centuries of struggle. In the end, a world where all water is infused with nicotine would be a planet enslaved by its own lifeblood. Every raindrop would carry both hydration and addiction. Every river would be both a source of life and a chain of dependence. Humanity would be forced to adapt, survive, and rethink its relationship not just with water, but with freedom itself.